and welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn Embers and welcome to Sunnyside Cottage Tiny Home. So this story kind of collides with the micro home story, but for those people who haven't watched the micro home, I will tell the story again, and why not when this video is 21 minutes 49. And at the moment I do not think I have put the screenshots on, so it's going to be a little bit longer because that is a thing I am doing at the moment, which is not putting screenshots at the end. I'm only putting screenshots at the end when I'm doing voiceovers, so I'm going to do the story again. So once upon a time, it was last week when I wasn't really feeling myself or was a bit down. And so I thought to myself, I want to buy the Tiny Living Stuff Pack. I've been seeing all these great builds and I want to join in. So I bought the Tiny Living Stuff Pack as a little birthday present to myself, since my birthday is going to come up soon, and I thought, let's just buy this, cheer myself up a little bit, you never know. And I had my card in hand, I was all ready to go, and since I was more focused on what was going inside my head and not what was going on the screen, I didn't realise when it said, are you sure to purchase? I didn't realise that meant, are you sure to purchase, because this is going to go through on the last card that was used, which was my sister's card. So I said, yeah, sure, just get on with it, I want to pay for this, I'm ready. And then I looked up and it said your order confirmation is this, and we have sent you an email. I was like, what do you mean an email? I haven't put any of my details in. What do you mean? You can't send me an order confirmation email if I haven't put any details in. And so I was like, oh, no, please don't say it's gone through my sister's card, because that was the last card that was used, because she was the one who paid for the Discovery University, because that was a Christmas present from her. And so I was like, no, please don't say it went through my sister's account. And I looked on the order confirmation, and yes it did. And I was like, oh great, that's not what I wanted. I've now bought a pack with my sister's account, which I didn't mean to do, and now I'm sitting here feeling really guilty about this. And I just sat down for a couple of minutes and I'm going, oh my golly baldy, I just paid for something on my sister's account, I don't mean to do that, and I felt so guilty. And then I just said to myself, right, it's okay, you can send her a WhatsApp message, which I did, and I can just pay her back. I can pay the tenner back this Thursday, since I'm going to have dinner with her at Nando's. It's all okay, it's fine. I've done something similar like this before, and she was quite fine with it. It's like, oh, that's fine, just pay me back when you can. So I was like, okay, it's fine, let's just go on and build things. So I was like, okay, I got the pack, what do I build with it? I want to build a barn with a farm. Yeah, that sounds cool. Everything I was building was just awful though. It was flat, it was rectangular, it was square. It was just not good. It was bleh. And I did not like it, and so I was having a complete meltdown, because guilt has now turned into stress, because I wanted this bag for so long and now I can't build anything with it. So I was like, oh my lordy, what am I doing? So I built an L-shaped build, because it's a different shape, isn't it? It's not quite rectangular, it's an L, and it's not quite square, it's a L shape. So I thought, yeah, that'd be fine. So I built the L-shaped build, and I was like, okay, this went up pretty quickly. It was a tiny home, but it went up pretty quickly. I was like, okay, that wasn't much of a challenge, was it? So I thought, okay, let's just stop recording and then play test it. Turns out I wasn't recording at all. So I was like, great, after 2 hours and finally building something that I feel so with, it turns out that I wasn't recording at all. So I was like, okay, that's is great, but at least I can play test it, and at least I found out some swatches that I like, and stuff like that. And so I just decided to play test the L-shaped home, and it didn't have any stairs at the moment. So I just teleported my sim in there. I got to cook something in the kitchen, and I used the hob that I always like to use, which is the Jungle Venture stove, because I like the colours on there. And I got her to make something, and I don't know how, and I don't know why, but for some reason she managed to set the kitchen alight. And I tried to get my sim to extinguish said fire, but the game was not allowing my sim to do that, and so I could do nothing. So I just had to sit there, watch a house that I have finally built after 2 hours, trying over and over and over again, trying to build something, and I finally did go up in flames, whilst my sim dies along with. So I just kind of sat there really deflated at this point, because it was bordering on 3 hours, and I've got nothing to show for it. And I was like, great, this is brilliant. I've accidentally bought this pack with my sister's account and not my own, and I'm not building anything with it. I'm not building anything that I like with it. So I went back to a drawing that I was trying to build right at the beginning. But I decided to focus on the layout and not the exterior, nothing with the roofing, none of that. I decided to figure out on the layout, and just said to myself, right, just figure out the layout and then you can decide where everything else is going to go. So that's what I did, and this is how it came about. Really, this is how this cottage came about. But like I said, in my eco micro home, I did kind of stop it halfway through, because you may have saw me sort of covering the walls with sort of like darker sort of like stone and shingling and sort of like all the browns and the greens. I've already done that. I've done that quite a few times. I like the look of it, but not for this build. I wasn't really feeling it for this build because I've done it way too many times. I want to do something different, okay? So I came across a very cute, very vibrant little cottage on Twitter. Cannot remember the name of the person who did it, but I think I retweeted it, which means I'll be able to find out who it is, and I'll put it on screen somewhere. So I saw that little cottage, and that reminded me, cottages don't need to be dark browns, dark greens, and like a dark stone. They don't need to do that. They don't need to be that. They can be anything they like. They can be bright and vibrant. So I changed the colour of the wallpaper to become a little bit more pastel-y, a little bit more bright and happy and fun, hence the name Sunnyside, which kind of reminds me of Toy Story, because wasn't it Sunnyside nursery or something like that, Sunnyside where the toys went? Kind of reminds me of that at the same time, which is great because I love Toy Story. I think the first ever Toy Story was the best one for me. I think the worst got to be the recent one, Toy Story 4. No offense, Forky, I just don't really like it. It was alright, but Toy Story 1 for me was the best. I mean, we had outrageous Woody when he was trying to get through to Buzz that he is a toy at the gas station or at the petrol station. He kind of lost his nut around that. We had Buzz with where he finally finds out sadly that he is just a toy and not a space ranger, and we have him with that Mrs. Nesbit little scene. I love that scene. I always watch it to cheer myself up because it's brilliant, and I love it when Buzz what's it called? Woody says, "Hey Buzz, give me a hand," and Buzz sort of like throws his basically arm, which is his hand. It's like it's quite funny. And so yeah, I like that one. And then I think it is Toy Story 3 for me, then Toy Story 2. I just cannot handle the Jessie story because I had like a menagerie of toys myself, and a lot of them have gone upstairs, and it's like, oh my god, is that what I've done to my toys? And some of them are no longer with me. It's like, I've done that to my own toys. I've done a Jessie on my own toys, and I don't like to watch that, so that's the reason why I don't like Toy Story 2. I don't like Forky, no offence Forky. I mean, I don't understand it really, because it came out at the same time where I was like, you shouldn't use plastic, you shouldn't use single-use plastic, like forks, like sporks, like Forky is. And I know he was changed into a toy, but I was like, huh? You got like a story around a spork, which is basically plastic, and I didn't understand what, like, what are you going? I don't want to like it, but some people like it. So yeah, my favourite Toy Story is Toy Story 1. I think it's great. I think it's funny. Like Toy Story 3 because of Spanish Buzz. Spanish Buzz is funny. So with the dining table, so I did originally want this place to have 3 bedrooms since my eco micro home had 2 bedrooms. I thought since this is like a tier up, it should definitely have an extra bedroom, but it doesn't. It is just a 2-bedroom home. So at the very beginning, I did put around 4 chairs, and once I realised that why am I putting 4 chairs around here as they're taking screenshots while they're there, because there's only really 3 Sims that's going to be used in this place. So I took out one of the chairs and then just shoved the table right against the wall, which also means there is just a little bit more room for the Sim, because I did notice when I was playtesting this home with this Sim, which is the exact same Sim that went up in flames, I did notice her butt was some what clips in the table a little bit, so I did shimmy a little bit further back and then just shoved it against the wall, so her butt does no longer clip the side of the table there. So like I said, I did play test this, or I haven't play tested it with a child or a little dog, because I do put down a little pet bed, but I do know it's quite easily to have 1 Sim and 3 Spellmans in here quite happily, because the Spellmans came over to welcome my Sim to the neighbourhood, and they brought over some disgusting fruit loaf that Hilda probably made, and they left it on a statue that was in the garden that you'll see in the screenshots, and they were quite happy to move around. There was enough space for them. I did try to put down a mirror on the wall by the kitchen. This wall here, when I put one of the pictures on, not that wall, the other wall that they were on. I did try to put a mirror on that wall, but there isn't enough room, so I realised my Sim was sort of practicing her speech. And normally they do it in front of the mirror, but because there wasn't enough room, she was sort of like practicing her speech while sitting down at the table, so I got rid of that. So the only mirrors in this house are in the bathroom and the bedrooms, really. So got rid of that, but I do put lots of little knickknacks and family-like items on this wall here where the wood is, not that wall, by the kitchen, and it looks quite nice and homely. Stuff in it, because families have lots of stuff, don't they? They have just so much stuff. So this wall here, this is the wall where the table gets shoved up against, and that is the wall where I just put lots of knickknacks and patio wax and give a dog a bone stuff on it. I do put little fairy lights around the other wall where the kid's bedroom is, just to make it more family and cute. And it's a very basic colour scheme here, just some yellows and some blues. I kind of quite like the fact the kitchen and the kitchen colours kind of tie in with the sofa colours. I thought, oh, that was quite good. Since this is an open plan house, it kind of makes the whole area flow a little bit more. So that was great. Well done them for choosing similar colours to what they already had. Use this little puffy thing. I think it is just a stool where the Sims can't sit down, but you can put stuff on it, so it's just like another table. So basically in this house or cottage, I'm using all the items that I didn't get to use when I was building the Eco Micro home, and use them here. So that means the little table by the sofa itself. I did want to use that very sort of like big a TV stand with all like stuff in it, like the combo stuff in it. But I decided to change that up and put down a fireplace, because I thought a fireplace would suit this space a little bit more than that thing there. So I did have to put in all the things that combo unit had. So that means a telly, and then a bookshelf, which I do put on that little kitchen shelf where the teapot is. I don't know if that works. That's the one thing I didn't test actually, because I was more concerned about her butt clipping through the dining table more than the fact that if the bookshelf, which are Clara items, but also bookshelves these days, if they worked. So this is the only bathroom in the entire house. Yes, it does mean if your parents or older Sims are taking the upstairs bedroom, it does mean they do run a risk of getting electrocuted on the way to the bathroom or to the main bit of the house. But there was no room in this house or cottage to fit in a set of stairs. It kind of confuses me that they didn't add some spiral staircases. I know this is a stuff pack, so the stuff is sort of limited, or what we get, but it kind of surprised me that it wasn't sort of like included into like a base game update for everybody. I was kind of like, huh? So it was kind of confusing that we didn't get that. I know some people's like, well, why don't we get bunk beds? I'll be honest with you, I'm not really fussed about bunk beds. I'm really just hankering for some spiral staircases, because that would really, really, very much helpful when you're making sort of like tiny homes. Since there's a whole stuff pack on it now, it would be very handy dandy to have, but hey ho, we don't have it. So that was kind of annoying. So yes, your Sims do have to run the risk of getting electrocuted if there is a storm outside with lightning. So they might get zapped on the way to the loo, which is never handy dandy, is it? So that is like a little quirk of the build, but I couldn't find another way around it, and to be honest with you, they're not outside for long. If they probably like leg it in, they'd be alright. So this is like the kids' bedroom. I'm really into kids' bedroom at the moment, just because I don't know, I just really like them at the moment. I'm not the biggest fondest of kids of myself. I mean, be honest with you, I think that it mainly stems from the fact that I don't like to sort of like talk to them. I don't mean that in a really mean way. I don't really like to sort of like talk to them just because they're so squidgy, and they're like sponges, and if you say something like that you're not totally factual, that is just the truth, and it's like that is fact, it is true, and you may say something. I'm just scared that I'll say something wrong, and they would go say to their mum or dad, like, "Mummy, blah 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 blah," and it's like, "What, sweetie? How would you get that from?" "Oh, Laura said it to me." Like, "Oh, great! No, don't say that." That's why I don't like talking to kids. They're just so squishy. They just absorb stuff. I'm afraid I'm going to say something wrong, and then they're going to say it to the mum, and then I'm going to get in trouble. No. So, and also, I don't know how to interact with kids as well. Like, people just say just interact them to how you would like to be interacted when you were little. I was a selective mute, you know. I don't really like, people coming up to me, so I was like, no. So yeah, and also I don't know. And sometimes I feel like when my neighbour's cat comes around, I feel like, oh, this is how I should interact with kids. When I'm interacting with him, is how I should interact with kids. But when it comes to kids, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm just so scared that I'm going to say something wrong, and then I'm going to go to the mum and say something, and I'm going to get in trouble. So I'd rather just keep my mouth shut when I'm around kids. Anyway, this is going to end here soon. It's been a bit of a weird one. I've just repeated myself what I said in the micro home. I told you about my favourite Toy Story. I love Toy Story 1. I even had a little bookmark that had Toy Story on it. It was basically just a Toy Story poster that I printed off Google and used it as a bookmark. I also talked about my feel saying something wrong to kids and then them spouting out to their mum. And that's that really. And I should bring it back to the build, but there's really not much to say. I'm just spamming the wardrobe here, the chest of drawers, so I can freely place this lovely little lamp here. And so I can, oh, I really love that little tiny candle tray thing that we have now in the game. I really like that. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to leave you guys here. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed. Please enjoy the rest of your day, whatever that may contain, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thank you and goodbye.